Let's begin with the proposed regulations by the National Health Insurance Fund to impose a penalty on those who fail to register as members, as well as increasing deductions on top earners, which has elicited a backlash from Kenyans around the country. The Federation of Kenya Employers, KOTU, and private health sector players saying the regulations will aggravate the bad healthcare situation Kenyans find themselves in. And as Raquel Mugai reports, the proposed regulations are NHIF's way of increasing its funding pool to support the government's pet project, universal health coverage.
In one among the 5 sets of draft regulations proposed by the National Health Insurance Fund, the national insurer states that a person who does not register as a member commits an offence and shall be liable to a penalty not exceeding 20,000 shillings. A penalty that has not gone down well with some Kenyans.
Sija register, juu sina uwezo. Hapa base ukipata hata 200 ni shida.
Walikuwa na lengo gani kuu? Ni kusaidia mwananchi, na kama ni kusaidia mwananchi basi imefikia wapi hapo ambapo inasema ya kwamba mwananchi mwenye hana apate kupewa faini 20,000.
Sasa tuseme NHIF tunalipia kwa ile kitabu ya kuandikiwa peke yake ndio NHIF inatusaidia. Lakini tukienda katibili ile ya kupewa madawa, in fact tunapata hakuna dawa hata mmoja.
Their sentiments echoed by players in the health sector as well as workers' trade unions who state that NHIF should consider sensitizing Kenyans on why the health insurer is the best option.
But I think the key here is for NHIF to be able to deliver on that promise so that people join voluntarily as opposed to through enforcement, because in terms of enforcement, I don't think it's realistic.
But if there is scarcity in the country, how do you want to devastate the cost of living more than what it is today?
The proposed regulations will allow the national insurer to utilize the existing national population database linkages for purposes of mobilizing registration to the fund. The penalty is, however, not the only contentious issue in the proposed regulations. NHIF is also seeking to increase its pool of financing by raising the deduction premiums for those earning 100,000 shillings and above. This category of persons will be deducted 1.7% of their gross salary. This being a higher premium away from the maximum contribution that is capped at 1,700 shillings.
It is a responsibility of the Kenya government to provide health care for all. But this is not to come from Kenyans' pockets or working people's pockets. It was meant to be through government budget allocation in Parliament. And Parliament agrees, it is debated, and then that portion is taken to NHIF.
The Federation of Kenya Employers, on its part, in a statement to Newsroom, says the proposed move is bad for the country, bad for jobs and bad for the enterprises. The rates will also increase the cost of the wage bill. Kenya intends to attain UHC and its sustainability predominantly through domestic financing, with the primary sources being tax funding and health insurance contribution. The Ministry of Health wants terming it as a situation where the employed will support the unemployed to access health services without much strain.
Hii si kitu ya kulazimishwa, ni mtu mwenyewe jue kama ana uwezo, kama hana mtu achue, lakini hiyo ni jukumu ya serikali.
NHIF will concurrently conduct public hearings for stakeholder engagements between 23rd February and 9th March, targeting county governments, development partners, employment and employer associations, health regulatory bodies and their associations, as well as the Parliamentary Health Committee. Raquel Mugai, Citizen TV.